Donetsk, Saturday night. A packed club, hands in the air, screaming the name of the DJ behind the booth. He drops the bass. They lose their minds. The local press calls him the DJ King of Donetsk. 5 hours earlier, he was emptying the bank account of the Franciscan Sisters of Chicago. He stole $73 million from American hospitals, churches, and dental offices. His code took down a hospital in Vermont during COVID. 5,000 computers went offline for 2 weeks. At his peak, he made $200,000 a month. He drove a customized Audi S8 with a Lamborghini-derived engine through downtown Donetsk. People on the street pointed. For 15 years, the FBI could not arrest him. In 2010, they came closest. An FBI task force flew into Ukraine and raided his apartment. They found half-finished tea on the table. They found the child's high chair. They found no one home. Someone inside the SBU had warned him 2 days earlier. Standing in his kitchen, they did not know who they were chasing. In their files, he was a username called Tank. They had his face. They had his office. They had years of his chat logs. They did not have his real name. Nobody in Ukraine would give it to them. The godfather of his daughter was the son of the president of Ukraine. Every warrant got buried. Every raid was leaked. Every phone tap caught the wrong line. Then one stranger, an ocean away, opened an old chat log. He had no badge. He had no agency. He spotted something nobody else had. One sentence Tank had typed himself in 2009 to 4 friends in Pride. This is how one Donetsk DJ stole $73 million, stayed untouchable for 15 years, and got exposed by something most of us share without thinking. Donetsk, 1999. A gray February. The mines run at half capacity. The miners have not been paid since November. Inside apartment, a boy unboxes a Pentium 2. He has never touched a computer before. His name is Vyacheslav Penchukov. His friends call him Slava. At school, the other kids push him around. He is quiet, thin, the last one picked. By 13, he has learned HTML and built his own website. By 14, he has patched FIFA 99 so his player runs faster than anyone else's. The kids who pushed him stop. They ask for the patch. For the first time, they want something from him. His best friend gets into a Kyiv university through family connections. Slava has none. He has a Pentium 2. By 2002, he is on a forum called Carter Planet. He learns an American credit card number is worth between $5 and $20 on the black market. 32,000 other people are on the same forum. The math does not require connections. By 2003, he has built his first fake e-commerce site, an online electronics store that sells nothing. Slava uses stolen cards to buy the imaginary goods from his own site. The money lands in his account. By the time the cardholder notices, Slava has the cash. Late one night, he runs his first transaction. It goes through. That weekend, he throws a party. Vodka, food, girls from school who never noticed him before. He pays for everything, $200. He walks home at 4 a.m. through streets as poor as before. Nothing on earth has changed. He is 17 years old. He has found the hole in the world. Most cybercriminals get caught fast. Slava stayed quiet for 3 years. He sells stolen cards. He scales his fake e-commerce sites. By 2005, he is making about $2,000 a month. 2 years ago, he bought 2 bottles of beer. Now, he buys his first car. He pays for everyone's drinks at the clubs he hangs out in. He has learned the equation. Skill makes money. Money buys friends. In 2007, a Russian programmer in Anapa publishes a piece of code that will change cybercrime. His name is Evgeny Bogachev. He calls his program Zeus. Slava. Buy. So do hundreds of others. He has just paid $1,000 for the software that will, over the next decade, drain more than $100 million from American banks. He does not know that yet. He does not know either that he is about to build a syndicate. Zeus does the technical work. To run it at scale, you need a crew. You need someone watching the Jabber alerts that ping every time a victim opens their bank's website. Someone ready to log in the moment they connect. Someone moving the money out in the seconds before the bank's fraud system wakes up. Someone laundering it back into Russia. One person cannot do this. There are 3 rules in cybercrime. Never use your real name, never brag about the money, never talk about your family. Slava starts hiring. He teaches his crew all 3. He keeps 2. A sysadmin, Ivan Klepikov, in Ukraine. A cash-out coordinator in Moscow, Maxim Yakubets. A pinger 3 floors above the office, Yuri Rybtsov. 2 money launderers in London, Kulibaba and Konovalenko. By 2008, Slava is 22. In the criminal forums, he is no longer Slava. He is Tank. Tank is not a hacker. He is a manager. Bogachev writes the code from Russia. Tank hires the people who use it. The stolen money lands in American bank accounts. To get it out of America, Tank needs Americans. He hires 3,500 of them. They never meet him. They think they have a remote office job. The ad says, financial coordinator, work from home, 5% commission. The job. A wire transfer arrives from a US company. They withdraw the cash. They walk into a Western Union or MoneyGram in their hometown. They send it to a name they were given. They keep 5%. They ask no questions. None of them know they are laundering stolen money for a crew in Donetsk. Every transfer stays under $10,000. Above 10, US banks file automatic federal reports. By the end of 2008, the operation is stealing roughly $50,000 a week. By 2009, $200,000. By 2010, the crew makes more in a month than the entire mining city of Donetsk pays its workers in 2 years. The FBI will hunt a hacker for 15 years. Tank never writes a line of code. His own crew calls him Father. What they have built has not yet hit a real American bank. When it does, the most expensive defensive system in global banking is going to collapse in less than 60 seconds.
Have a good day.
You log into your bank tomorrow morning. You enter a password. You enter a 6-digit code. Today from an app on your phone. In 2008, from a plastic fob on a lanyard. You believe that is the wall protecting your money. In 2008, Tank proved that wall was a window. The wall had 4 layers. Your password, what you knew. The 6-digit code from the fob, what you had. Your home IP address, where you were. Your device fingerprint, who you were. To rob the account, you needed all 4 at the same second. From the customer's own computer, from the customer's own home. It was the most expensive defensive system in global banking. A $5 plastic fob multiplied across millions of customers protected trillions. Early Zeus stole passwords. By the time the criminals read the log, the codes had expired thousands of times. US fraud teams concluded Zeus had stopped working. The banks treated this as a win. Tank treated it as an engineering problem. His crew took Zeus and rebuilt it. The variant they shipped looked like the old Zeus from the outside. Inside, it carried a plug-in that defeated all 4 layers at once. In Iowa, a bookkeeper opens her bank's webpage. The URL is correct. The HTTPS padlock is green. Every visible sign tells her she is safe. Tank's plug-in is already running in her browser. It rewrites her bank's page as it loads. It adds 1 extra field. The bank has not asked for the code. The screen says it has. She enters it. In the same millisecond, the bank gets her login, her token, her IP, her fingerprint. All 4 checks pass because Tank is logging in through her own computer at the same time she is. Her token also pings a chat window on a desk in Donetsk. All 4 security systems agree. The customer is logged in. What Tank's team had built was a masterpiece. The bank thought it was watching the customer log in. It was watching Tank log in on her machine through her browser with her permission. Every defense the bank had built was working against itself. 8,000 kilometers away in Donetsk, Tank starts moving the money. He has less than 60 seconds before the token expires. By 2009, Tank's team executes the attack 9 times a month, 60 seconds each time. They never miss. By 2010, the money has changed every one of them. One of them has decided he wants more than money. He wants the city to know his name. By 2009, Tank had built a small multinational, 8 people across 3 countries. Most never met in person. He sat at the center. Only Tank knew everyone. Bogachev and Yakubets were not employees. They were closer to partners. Bogachev never left Russia. He owned property along the Black Sea. He moved between his dachas by yacht. He was photographed wearing leopard print pajamas with his Bengal cat. That photo would become his FBI Most Wanted poster. Yakubets, the cash-out coordinator, was 22. His wife's father, Eduard Bendersky, was a former FSB officer who ran a private security firm in Moscow called Vimpel K. The wedding cost $325,000. Russian state TV celebrities sat at the head table. His Moscow Lamborghini Huracan had a custom plate that read VOR, in Russian, thief. He drove it past the Kremlin. Nobody stopped him. Nobody could. In their daily chats, Tank, Bogachev, and Yakubets joked about cars and vacations.
Bought another one yesterday. Black this time. Lambo? Audi. Custom engine. Of course.
They argued about football. They planned trips to the Mediterranean. In between, they discussed which American hospitals to drain next. By day, Tank walks into a 4th-floor office above a wedding dress shop. His crew shows up Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. That is the hour when American small businesses open their books. The first transfer of the morning lands. The office cheers. $500,000 from a small business in Iowa. The week is paid for. Tank leans back. He picks up his phone. He calls his wife to say he is taking her out tonight.
Сегодня ужинаем.
The FBI will struggle with this. The most sophisticated cyber operation in the world looks, from the outside, like an HR-compliant IT firm. Then he spends the money. By night, he is DJ Slava Rich. The boy nobody picked at school plays house and trance in the biggest clubs in Donetsk. The line outside stretches around the block. He flies to Kyiv on weekends to headline. Girls take photos with him. People stop him on the street. He has bought himself a stage. First, the BMW, then the Porsche 911, then the Audi, custom engine, downtown. Windows down, everyone sees him. His wife wears mink in winter. They holiday on the Côte d'Azur, in the Maldives. He smiles at the camera. At his peak, he is spending $200,000 a month. He believes this is forever. He has 6 months. Nobody in Donetsk asks the obvious question. How does a DJ afford a Lamborghini engine? Nobody asks because nobody wants to know. But there is one man in Donetsk who knows everything. His father is about to become president. If you enjoy our stories, subscribe to the channel. Every subscription helps us keep making new videos and releasing them more often. The operation works because Tank has built it, but it stays alive because someone protects it. Tank needs political cover. He gets it over lunch. To understand what happens next, you need to understand who owned Ukraine in 2009. A man named Viktor Yanukovych. 2 prison sentences for robbery and assault. 2 terms as prime minister. His political organization was called The Family. They owned the coal, the steel, the banks. By 2010, they would own the country. Donetsk's golden youth was 1,000 people. Tank and the president's son drank in the same clubs. By 2009, they had been doing it for years. The president's son was also named Victor. The press called him Junior. In a private dining room in Donetsk, late spring 2009, Tank has lunch with Junior. Tank's wife is 6 months pregnant.
When the child is born, I want you as godfather. Yes.
That is the entire conversation. No paperwork. The agreement carries the weight of a state. 1 month later, the operation breaks into the news. In a Kentucky county the FBI has never had to visit. June 22, 2009. Bullitt County, Kentucky, 7:55 a.m. The county treasurer logs in. Her job today is payroll. She has done this twice a month for 14 years. She does not know her screen is not the one the bank is sending. A field appears she has not seen before. She enters her token code a second time. In Donetsk, a Jabber chat window pings. Tank cracks his knuckles. He has 58 seconds. He logs into the county's payroll system. He adds 25 new employees. Each name is a real American, a financial coordinator who took the work-from-home job. Each transfer is $9,800. The math is deliberate. By Friday, those Americans will walk into Western Union offices across the country. The cash will fly to addresses in Donetsk, Moscow, and Riga. The county will think it has paid 25 new workers. The county has, in fact, given $415,000 to Tank. In 58 seconds, Tank just stole 8 years of the county treasurer's salary. From a purely operational view, it is elegant. The county's own payroll system pays the people who just robbed the county. A bank employee notices the anomaly that afternoon. Bullitt County calls the FBI. The FBI takes the case quietly. They do not want American banks to know banks can be drained this way. But the bank that lost the money sues the county. The lawsuit is public. The court file is not. A reporter named Brian Krebs reads court files for a living. He covers cybercrime for the Washington Post. He has been tracking Zeus for 2 years. He has been waiting for a victim willing to talk. The lawsuit is the victim talking. On July 2, 2009, Krebs publishes. It is the first time Zeus is named in a major American newspaper. American banks read it over breakfast. So does the FBI. So does Tank. That night, in their private Jabber chat, Tank, the Americans know. Bogachev, I know. Tank, they're calling it a hospital theft. Bogachev, we change everything. Within 48 hours, Tank rewires the cash-out paths. The mule chains shift. The next wave moves through different banks, different cities, different first names. The operation continues. What neither of them knows, the FBI traces the wire transfer logs backwards. The trail ends at a server in Manhattan. The Zeus crew uses it as a chat relay. An FBI agent gets a warrant. For the next year, the FBI reads every word Tank's crew writes to each other. They will learn handles. They will learn cities. They will not learn the one thing that matters. Not until Tank, in the same chat, types a sentence none of them notices. Tank's daughter is born on July 22, 2009. Her name is Miloslava. Tank types her exact birth weight into a private Jabber chat with 4 close friends. He is proud. At the christening that autumn, Junior stands beside the priest. On February 25, 2010, Junior's father is sworn in as president of Ukraine. Inside the SBU's Donetsk office, something changes. Warrants from Kyiv stop being processed. Investigations close. Penchukov's name disappears from active files. Outside Donetsk, other Carters are not so careful. Vladislav Korokorin, known on Carter Planet as Bad B, is arrested in France in 2010. Albert Gonzalez, who hacked TJX, is sentenced in Boston the same year. 20 years in federal prison. None of these arrests touch Tank. None of them know his name. By 2010, his DJ sets ship to clubs in Kyiv. Hundreds of thousands flow through the office every month. Everything works. He has never been more comfortable in his life. In a federal courthouse in Nebraska, an assistant U.S. attorney files a sealed indictment. The name on it, John Doe No. 1, alias Tank. The indictment will sit, sealed, for years. In April 2010, one of Tank's own crew posts a warning in the group chat. You guys are fucked. The FBI is watching. I have seen the logs. Someone, somewhere inside the joint U.S.-Ukrainian task force has tipped him off. To this day, no one has named who. Tank does not panic. The godfather of his daughter is now the president's son. He believes the shield will hold. He instructs the crew to change their Jabber handles. He keeps the same server. He keeps working. On a Tuesday night in late September, the door of his apartment is going to come off its hinges. By September 2010, the FBI had been preparing for 14 months. They had handles, surveillance photos, the office, the home address. They did not have his real name. They moved anyway. The operation was called Trident Breach, a coordinated raid across 3 countries. The plan was to take down the entire infrastructure in 48 hours. On September 29, 2010, British police arrest Kuli Baba and Kona Valenko at a flat in North London. Their seized phones contain encrypted jabber sessions. The encryption is partial. The metadata points east, to Donetsk. The threat is 2,500 kilometers from Donetsk. 2 days before the synchronized raid, Alexander Khodakovsky, head of SBU Special Forces in Donetsk, makes a phone call. The danger is no longer outside Tank City. It is inside the same room. Khodakovsky uses a phone the FBI is not listening to.
The Americans are coming Tuesday night. Понял.
The associate calls a third man. The third man calls Tank's office. Before he hangs up, a man with a screwdriver is already in the room. He removes every hard drive without speaking. By the time the FBI task force lands at Boryspil Airport, Tank's office is 3 empty desks. Tank had prepared for this for years. He kept $1 million in cash across safety deposit boxes in 3 Donetsk banks. He kept forged passports. He kept the Audi fueled. On the night of the raid, Tank is at a local amateur football match. His mobile rings just before midnight.
Tank, there are police cars on your street.
He walks off the pitch in his football kit. He gets into the Audi. He picks up his wife. He drives north at speeds the Donetsk patrol cars cannot match. At a city limit checkpoint, an officer drinking coffee looks up. He sees a black Audi pass at 3 times the limit. By the time he radios it in, the Audi is 6 kilometers away. At 1:14 a.m., the FBI and the SBU Alpha team break down the door of Tank's apartment. They walk through the rooms. They find a child's high chair. They find a half-finished cup of tea. They find no one home. A high chair, a teacup, 3 empty desks. The largest cybercrime task force in FBI history just bounced off a Donetsk kitchen. The operation arrests 39 people. The mules in the UK go to prison. The leadership in Donetsk loses nothing. 6 weeks later, the Ukrainian prosecutor handling Penchukov's case drops it. In Donetsk, the SBU knows who Tank is. They have his real name. They have his address. They have his birth certificate. They have decided not to use any of it. Across the ocean, the FBI sits with a sealed file. The face was there. The office was there. The chat logs were there. The name was not. He returns to his 4th floor office. The shift starts at 2. What he does not know: in 3 years, the country that shields him is going to come apart in 8 weeks. For 3 years, Tank does nothing. He stays in Donetsk. He stops using Jabber. He buys into a coal trading business in the Donbass. He tries, by his own account, to go legitimate. By 2013, it all feels permanent. In February 2014, it stops feeling permanent. Protests in Kyiv force Yanukovych to flee. He resigns. He escapes to Russia in a helicopter. The same week, masked men with no insignia appear in the streets of Donetsk. By summer, the city is inside a war zone. The protection layer Tank spent 5 years building disappears in 8 weeks. The country that shielded him is now occupied territory. The Ukrainian state cannot reach him. The Russian state will not. He is, for the first time in 5 years, on his own. 8,000 miles away, a man without a badge is about to do what every FBI analyst missed. At the University of Alabama in Birmingham, a computer forensics professor named Gary Warner has been reading the Jabber logs on weekends. No badge, no agency, no deadline. Federal analysts have been through them all. None has found a real name. In 2014, he opens the same file he has opened 100 times. He scrolls past conversations he has read 100 times. Cars, wives, Mediterranean trips, American banks. He stops on one line, July 22, 2009. Tank announces the birth of his daughter. Name, exact birth weight. 5 years of FBI analysts have read past this line. Warner does not. He opens the Ukrainian Civil Registry. He types one query. How many girls named Miloslava, born in Donetsk on July 22, 2009, weighed exactly 3 kilograms 200 grams? The answer comes back, 1. The father's name on the birth certificate is Vyacheslav Igorovich Penchukov. In 2014, the FBI finally has the name they have been missing for 5 years. There is one problem. Tank now lives in occupied territory. There is no extradition. There is no way in. They have his name. They cannot reach him. The shield was the child. The wound is the child. One layer of protection is left. The godfather himself. March 2015. Yanukovych Jr. drowns crossing the frozen surface of Lake Baikal. Russia calls it an accident. Tank's last protection is gone. For a year, he waits for what comes for him. Nothing comes. The state has moved on. He is still rich. He just can't spend it. No Cyprus, no cars from Germany, no Kyiv club without a fake passport. He sits in occupied Donetsk and watches his fortune freeze. Then, in 2018, Tank does what he does best. He pivots. Zeus is dead. The new tool is Iced ID. It breaks into corporate networks, steals administrator credentials, and sells the access to ransomware gangs. October 2020. One of Tank's customers drops ransomware on the University of Vermont Medical Center. Surgeons cancel operations. Cancer patients lose appointments. Damage: $54 million. Penchukov isn't in Vermont. He's in Donetsk, behind his desk. The FBI has known his name for 6 years. They still can't touch him. By 2022, the war has emptied Donetsk. His wife and children moved to a house near Lake Geneva. In October, Tank decides to follow. He doesn't know that the moment he leaves Russian-protected territory, every facial recognition camera in Europe will know exactly who he is. He hasn't seen his daughter in 3 years. A forged passport, out of the Donbass, across Europe, into Switzerland. October 22, 2022. Geneva at dusk. 15 years of habit. He circles the block, checks every parked car. Nothing. He doesn't see the spotters on the roof. At every border he crossed, a camera flagged him. The FBI has known he was moving for 36 hours. He walks up the path. The kitchen light is on. His wife inside. His daughter, 13, inside. He raises his hand to knock. Behind him, 3 men step out of a van.
Vyacheslav Penchukov. The Bureau sends its regards.
He doesn't run. His daughter is 6 feet away, behind the door. She doesn't yet know her father came. He never goes inside. July 11th, 2024, Lincoln, Nebraska. 9 years, $73 million in restitution. He will never pay it. What got Tank wasn't the FBI. It was a daughter. Twice she exposed him. In 2009, the birth weight he typed in a chat. In 2022, the door he walked to. Both times, he was a father. Most fathers do the same. The date, the weight, the name. We post them. They're how the world knows we're a parent. Also how it finds us. For one moment, on the day his daughter was born, he was a father. That is what got him caught.